What's up, YouTube? DJ Kryptonite here, talking some boxing news, gossip, all that jazz. Uh, let's get to it. This is pretty funny. Gary Russell still going at Terrence Crawford. He said he's still waiting on a response from Top Rank. So this is hysterical. Terrence Crawford should just come out and say, "I'm just not interested in the fight." He's just not interested. In fact, I do think Terrence Crawford probably is a little bit too big for him. But Gary Russell could potentially gain enough weight, to meet him at a certain point, maybe at 140 or something. That's if Terrence Crawford is willing to come down to 140. But 147 may be a stretch for Gary Russell. But it's just funny that Terrence Crawford hadn't responded to Gary Russell's challenge at this stage. It's just funny. But it wouldn't, I don't think, it may be a competitive fight in the beginning, maybe. But eventually I think Terrence Crawford will probably muscle him out and beat him in the later rounds. Because Terrence Crawford at this point is probably just too big for him. But like I said, if they meet at 140 or something, just the process of Terrence Crawford trying to come back down to make weight and that sort of thing at 140 would take something from him, most likely. Because Terrence Crawford is getting up in age. As you get older, it's harder for you to make weight. You just naturally put on more pounds. So it would be funny if Terrence Crawford comes out and accepts the fight. Crawford doesn't have any fights lined up. He's turning down most of the offers that he's getting because he's trying to make a minimum amount. He has this number, I guess, in his mind that he's willing to fight for. But given the circumstances, given COVID and the current situation of boxing, he's probably just not going to make those numbers unless it's a pay-per-view fight with a big name. And at this point, he's not willing to do that. Thurman called him out. Thurman said, "Hey, $10 million, we can do it." And they potentially could come up with the money with pay-per-view sales. But it sounds like Crawford is just not even willing to I guess, entertain the offer of giving Keith Thurman $10 million. So I just don't know where Terrence Crawford's head is, because given the climate, it's not going to be a good look for him to continue to turn down offers until this COVID situation kind of alleviates itself or tones down a little bit. He's going to have to look at compromising. And ESPN is not really promoting this guy to the extent where they promote Lomachenko and faces like that. So I'm just a bit concerned that he's turning down offers. Essentially the Gary Russell fight will probably be a pretty entertaining promotional event. So just on that alone, it may be something for him to entertain. But realistically, he should be entertaining Keith Thurman's offer. But I guess that's just not a go for him. He's not willing to, allow Thurman to make $10 million. I guess at this stage, Crawford thinks he's a big enough name where he can demand dollars, and he's not trying to share any of that wealth. Anyway, that's all I have. I just found it funny that Gary Russell hadn't responded to. Terrence Crawford hadn't responded to Gary Russell's challenge. So I guess stay tuned. We'll see. DJ Kryptonite signing out from the DMV. Deuces.